Loneliness. This is something for the chat. This is something for the chat. What do we have here? Loneliness.
Everybody feels lonely from time to time. When we have no one to sit next to at lunch, when we move to a new city, or when nobody has time for us at the weekend. But over the last few decades, this occasional feeling has become chronic for millions.
Yeah.
In the UK, 60% of 18 to 34-year-olds say they often feel lonely.
60%, that's kind of crazy. What I often read is that a big issue is, I know it because my family is very involved into home for the elderly. No, retirement homes. My mom works there, I go there a lot, my grandma's there. A big issue is that a lot of old people get lonely. Their spouse dies one day, right? Your husband, your wife dies. Your children, they never fucking take care of you anymore. They don't come anymore. And these people get very lonely. A big issue my family has right now is that my grandma, all of a sudden, has developed very, very bad hearing. They're right now the doctors are on it. She has very bad hearing. And we had a family party last weekend. And a big part of becoming more lonely in age is bad hearing, because you can't join anything anymore. People tell you a story, people want to talk to you, and you're like, what? Huh? What? It's really not good, man, not good. And a lot of old people have this issue.
In the US, 46% of the entire population feel lonely regularly. We are living in...
Fuck you, I'm trying to push my loneliness down by watching this stream.
The most connected time in human history. And yet, an unprecedented number of us feel isolated. Being lonely and being alone are not the same thing. You can be filled...
Well, being lonely and being alone are not the same thing. That is... Damn, that hit me.
...with bliss by yourself and hate every...
Because I was just about to say I love being lonely, but then he said that. I like being alone, but I don't like being lonely. Damn, that's some big IQ shit.
...second surrounded by friends.
Very deep, man. So
loneliness is a purely subjective, individual experience. If you feel lonely, you are lonely. A common stereotype is that loneliness only happens to people who don't know how to talk to people or how to behave around others.
I like to eat alone. He just explained. There's a difference between wanting to be alone and being lonely. I like to be alone. I like to do my own shit and go shopping alone or maybe eat alone. But I know in the background I'm not lonely. I have people around. There's a very big difference. Damn. I'm thinking, what was the loneliest time of my life? Chat, what was the loneliest time of your life? I think my loneliest time in my life might have been the first weeks of the army and maybe the first weeks of China. Also, when I was like in 7th grade, I got bullied. There was like a phase for some months where the whole class hated me. Nobody hated me. Now, right now, today, Jesus Christ. Probably right now. Jeez, man. Are you guys okay? I'm here for you. I'm here for you. God damn it. Ooh, boys. Time to get on Tinder, man. First year at uni. Yeah, in a different country. Yeah. So many losers. Jesus, man. All the best. I hope it will get better for you. Pandemic hitting hard. I feel like, yeah, when I was in 7th grade, there was this phase where the whole class didn't talk to me. At home, I had issues, alcoholic father and shit. That was very lonely.
But population-based studies have shown that social skills make practically no difference for adults when it comes to social connections. Loneliness can affect everybody. Money, fame, power, beauty, social skills, a great personality. Nothing can protect you against loneliness because it's part of your biology. Loneliness is a bodily function, like hunger. Hunger makes you pay attention to your physical needs. Loneliness makes you pay attention to your social needs. Your body cares about your social needs because millions of years ago it was a great indicator of how likely you were to survive.
When I feel lonely, I go on the people. When people get on my nerves, I seclude myself. Yeah, it's like you want to have friends, but then you go outside and you realize humans suck. It's a circle of fuck-ups, right?
When I feel
I actually don't have an answer to this. What to do against loneliness? I have no answer.
I seclude myself.
Because my answer will be your family and your friends are important, but if your family isn't around or you don't like each other or people died and you friends is hard to come by, real friendships take years. Find like-minded people. Yeah, find look what's your hobby, what you like, and then find people there in the community. but don't go into the flat earth anti-vax right-wing community, you know? They're like, don't join a cult or something. I actually don't have an answer. Yeah.
5. Natural selection rewarded our ancestors for collaboration.
How do you find what you like? Damn, I don't know. How do you... Thank you, Saintly Chris, for the 5, brother. Thank you very, very much, man. Appreciate it, dude. How do you find what you like? I guess sit down and think about it. And then Marconi, very wise, just try stuff. Try certain sports, board games, certain hobbies, I guess. Latch onto a streamer and pretend they're your friend. That's also good, yeah. And then you text him all day with games you want to see him play. Experience stuff. I guess I'm really not educated on this topic. I don't want to say bad stuff. I guess you have to kind of swallow the bitter pill that you have to get out of your comfort zone to find something. A hobby, a sports club, a girlfriend, friends. You have to get out of the comfort zone, which is hard. I know it. I know that's hard, man. Thank you, Michael. Or maybe just get a dog. Yeah.
And for forming connections with each other. Our brains grew and became more and more fine-tuned to recognize what others thought and felt, and to form and sustain social bonds. Being social became part of our biology. You were born into groups of 50 to 150 people, which you usually stayed with for the rest of your life. Getting enough calories, staying safe and warm, or caring for offspring was practically impossible alone. Being together meant survival. Being alone meant death. So it was crucial that you got along with others.
Stop watching Twitch. I disagree. I think that Twitch is... I would not say Twitch is fake. A fake social construct? No, I think Twitch really helps people. I disagree with you. People connect on Twitch. People find friends. They find communities, hobbies, someone they can feel like as a friend, like the streamer. Why not? Sometimes I watch big streamers like Lyric, and people in his chat got married and stuff. They met in his chat. I think Twitch is great for connecting, man.
For your ancestors, the most dangerous...
A lot of people, just last week, my graphic designer Sevi met with a guy from Twitch in Austria, and they were eating in a restaurant together. Twitch is great for this
survival.
Stuff. I think it's just important. How do I explain this? It's important that you are realistic. Don't go into a chat and you're like, hey, who wants to marry me? You gotta be... You know, you gotta do this in a chill way. Like, not in a fucking creepy, I'm gonna eat your skin way, you
was
know?
Not being eaten by a lion, but not getting the social vibe of your group and being excluded.
Do it naturally.
To avoid that, your body...
Like, don't go to a women's streamer and donate $5,000 and say you want to meet. That's not the right way.
Came up with social pain. Pain of this kind is an evolutionary adaptation to rejection.
Pain. Well, I always felt this crazy life, and maybe some younger people will not understand this, but I've always felt like I'm a hardcore guy that really can control his emotions, but also I'm human. And what I always thought is so interesting about the human body is that emotions can literally bring you pain. I once, not more than once in my life, was so heartbroken because of a relationship that it literally hurt, and it hurt right here. Everyone who ever felt that knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's like there's a, I don't know the English. There's a certain organ here, and it puts out certain hormones, and it literally fucking hurts. It's like crazy, man. Like when I was having a broken heart, I would be like, you're a hardcore guy, forget it. But I couldn't stop it, and I felt literal physical pain from it. I would have never guessed so. If you never felt that before, it's gonna happen to you one day. Don't worry. I'm 16. Yeah, we'll get there. Don't worry, man.
A sort of early warning system to make sure you stop behavior that would isolate you. Your ancestors who experienced rejection as more painful were more likely to change their...
I always feel like when someone I love died, when my heart was broken, it's always a feeling here. Is that weird? Do you guys understand what I mean? When my grandpa died, it was something here. When love happens, when I get really fucking scared, it's always here. I don't know if it's the stomach fucking with you. I think there's a drüse. I don't know how to explain. A drüse. Drüse English. There is a gland. There's a gland here that does certain hormones. It's really, really awkward.
Their behavior when...
Like, does anyone know that feeling? Really weird, very specific. When you are driving your car and something happens, and very closely you are in a crash. Right before the crash, there's a feeling right here. Like it's like, or like you're going down with a roller coaster. It's like, there's like this, your heart is dropping in a way. What is that? What is heart dropping? What is that biologically? Yeah, it's this gland pushing out adrenaline, right? There's a little thing here, and it's like adrenaline, and you're like, you know what I mean? Something like that, yeah.
They got rejected and thus stayed in the tribe, while those who did not got kicked out and most likely died. That's why rejections hurt, and even more so, why loneliness is so painful. These mechanisms for keeping us connected worked great for most of our history until humans began building a new world for themselves.
What do Lisa for a living? She teaches English. You should text her.
The loneliness epidemic we see today really only started in the late Renaissance. Western culture began to focus on the individual. Intellectuals moved away from the collectivism of the Middle Ages, while the young Protestant theology stressed individual responsibility.
One sec. I have
This
to be careful.
trend accelerated during the Industrial Revolution. People left their villages and fields to enter factories. Communities that had existed for hundreds of years began to dissolve, while cities grew. As our world rapidly became modern, this trend sped up more and more. Today, we move vast distances for new jobs, love and education, and leave our social net behind. We meet fewer people in person, and we meet them less often than in the past. In the US, the mean number of close friends dropped from 3 in 1985 to 2 in 2011. Most people stumble into chronic loneliness by accident. You reach adulthood and become busy with work, university, romance, kids.
Yeah, problem is I feel like in your late 20s and 30s, you start getting to a point in your life where you have a job, your education is over, you don't go to school anymore, your friend circle's kind of done, you have a partner. That's kind of the point where it gets harder, right, to find friends. If I imagine, I'm 30 now, and imagine I would lose everything around me. It would be very hard to recover that. I don't have a job where I meet people. It would be hard to recover that. Even though I gotta say, and I'm gonna be maybe an asshole here, I always felt like it's not that hard. It was never hard for me to find connection. Because I want to try to be honest here. If I imagine I would be completely lonely right now, I would just go on Tinder and try to find a new girlfriend. Well, what? And I'm a good-looking guy, I'm a great catch, boom, 2 months, you have a new girlfriend, and then you are connected again with someone. Yeah, Lisa just said not everybody can be as beautiful as you, Tommy. Yeah, you're right about that.
Kids and Netflix.
That's true, yeah.
There's just not enough time. The most convenient and easy thing to sacrifice is time with friends.
Oh, did you just...
Until you wake up one day and realize that you feel isolated.
This video makes me feel very privileged. Like, I don't feel lonely at all. I'm very privileged there. I have a beautiful girlfriend, beautiful friend circle, and beautiful family. But that's a very privileged position. I realize that. Not everybody has that. I think what's important is... I don't know if that's a good... Let's see if I hear something in the background. I think what's important is to help against loneliness is to be always reflective of how privileged you are to people around you. Meaning, you should never take your friends and family for granted. Be nice to them, meet them, take time for them, and then long friendships will evolve. Don't be assholes to your friends, because then you lose them. You have to invest into your friendships so they go over many years.
That you yearn for close relationships. But it's hard to find close connections as adults, and so loneliness can become chronic. While humans feel pretty great about things like iPhones and spaceships, our bodies and minds are fundamentally the same they were 50,000 years ago. We are still biologically fine-tuned to being with each other.
Assholes, get new ones, man, that's for sure. You gotta pick the right ones to hold close to, yeah. It's also good to understand yourself and do the right things you love to do and try to connect with others that also, yeah. I think, though, I want to be honest, I think this is a topic where I should shut my mouth a bit, because I'm very privileged and I'm not really lonely at all, and it's probably much harder for others. But if I look at... I am not lonely at the moment because I have amazing friends and girlfriend. Why? Because I just said that 10 minutes ago. Because I went out of my comfort zone. Because I like being alone and playing games all night, but I took a little step. Let's meet Lisa. Let's meet friends. Let's drive to my mother. Let's take care of my brother. Blah blah blah. And then that was important, I guess. This taking this step.
Large-scale studies have shown that the stress that comes from chronic loneliness is among the most unhealthy things we can experience as humans.
Wow.
It makes you age quicker. It makes cancer deadlier. Alzheimer's advance faster, your immune system's weaker.
Isn't that interesting? I would like to have to explain even more. Why is loneliness making you unhealthy? Must be something with hormones, right? Crazy, man.
Loneliness is twice as deadly as obesity and as deadly as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day.
Jesus.
The most dangerous thing about it is that once it becomes chronic, it can become self-sustaining.
Stress.
Physical and social pain use common mechanisms in your brain. Both feel like a threat, and so social pain leads to immediate and defensive behavior when it's inflicted on you. When loneliness becomes chronic, your brain goes...
This is you, Chan, huh? With an armor. You have to let the armor go and let people in. And everybody who says play Japan can suck it
into self-preservation mode. It starts to see danger and hostility everywhere. But that's not all. Some studies found that when you're lonely, your brain is much more receptive and alert to social signals, while at the same time, it gets worse at interpreting them correctly.
That makes so much sense. I'm not that serious right now. The more you're lonely and not in social structures, the more your brain misinterprets signals, which kind of leads why people in Twitch chat are weird. Like, the more you're lonely, the more you're awkward in social interactions and dating and stuff. That makes so much sense. I'm straight up not kidding here. I mean this. Damn. Which is why I never blame you guys for being weird to me. It's not your fault. Jeez. And then you get into the cycle of being awkward. How do you get out of that cycle? And I think that's why I'm always so hard on you, chat. I think you need a friend that tells you that you're awkward and misinterprets social signs. He tells you that so you can change a bit.
You pay more attention to others, but you understand them less. The part of your brain that recognizes faces gets out of tune and becomes more likely to categorize neutral faces as hostile, which makes it distrustful of others. Loneliness makes you assume the worst about others' intentions towards you. Because of this perceived...
And we get back to that point, like I said, you have to, in these moments, step out of your comfort zone.
...hostile world, you can become more self-centered to protect yourself, which can make you appear more cold, unfriendly, and socially awkward than you really are.
What can we do about it? That is very important.
If loneliness has become a strong presence in your life, the first thing you can do is to try to recognize the vicious cycle you may be trapped in.
Acceptance
It usually goes something like this. An initial feeling of isolation leads to feelings of tension and sadness, which makes you focus your attention selectively on negative interactions with others.
What, is she fucking dumb
This
or some
makes your
shit?
thoughts
Obviously,
about you.
What? Why are you mad at her? Dude, that girl deserves to be lonely. What the fuck? She wants to sit next to her fucking boyfriend, and you're mad about that?
Yourself and others more negative, which then changes your behavior.
Yeah, no wonder you lost.
You begin to avoid social interaction,
Just kidding.
which leads to more feelings of isolation. This cycle becomes more severe and harder to escape each time. Loneliness makes you sit far away from others in class, not answer the phone when friends call, decline invitations until the invitations stop. Each and every one of us has a story.
I want to go back to this real quick because I really feel this one. This was me in school often. And a lot of normies always shit on video game and video game culture. And I want to say that when this was me back then, oh, you can't see it, right? Oh, man, the fucking... I can't move the frame. Yeah, it's me, okay? I'm sitting alone right here. But I can't move the frame. Video games really helped me. Video games really, really helped me here, man.
Others in class, not answer the phone when friends call, decline invitations until the invitations stop. Each and every one of us has a story about ourselves. And if your story becomes that people exclude you, others pick up on that. And so the outside world can become the way you feel about it.
It's a circle.
This is often a slow creeping process that takes years and can end in depression and a mental state that prevents connections even if you yearn for them. The first thing you can do to escape it is to accept that loneliness is a totally normal feeling and nothing to be ashamed of. Literally everybody feels lonely at some point in their life. It's a universal human experience. You can't eliminate or ignore a feeling until it goes away magically, but you can accept that you feel it and get rid of its cause. You can self-examine what you focus your attention on and check if you are selectively concentrating on negative things. Was this interaction with a colleague really negative? Or was it really neutral or even positive? What was the actual content of an interaction? What did the other person say? And did they say something bad, or did you add extra meaning to their words? Maybe another person was not really reacting negatively, but just short on time. Then there are your thoughts about the world. Are you assuming the worst about others' intentions? Do you enter a social situation and have already decided how it will go? Do you assume others don't want you around? Are you trying to avoid being hurt and not risking opening up? And if so, can you try to give others the benefit of the doubt? Can you just assume that they're not against you? Can you risk being open and vulnerable again? And lastly, your behavior. Are you avoiding opportunities to be around others? Are you looking for excuses to decline invitations? Or are you pushing others away preemptively to protect
I had this
yourself?
weird point in my life. I hope I'm not unsensible. In my 20s, I always felt like there's something wrong with me because I like to be alone. And oftentimes people would invite me. I had a friend circle, but they would always invite me to parties and stuff. And every time I went out with these people, like in this scenario, I hated it. I hated being with them. I hated being at these parties. I hated doing these things. I always just wanted to go home and play games. And I was happy doing it. It was really weird. A lot of you guys have that too, huh? And I think the answer was that I just didn't like the people. If it would have been the right people, it would have been okay. Like nowadays, like my brother and shit, I love meeting him. I never go to my brother feeling, oh, I hate this. I love every second of it. I guess you have to look for the right guys. Like, they were kind of not real friends. I didn't like them so much.
Are you acting as if you're getting attacked? Are you
Like, I was, like, in my, 24, 25, I was like, okay, let's go out with these people so I can be a social guy, but I always hated it.
really looking for new connections,
It wasn't the
or
right way
have you
for me.
become complacent with your situation? Of course, every person and situation is unique and different, and just introspection alone might not be enough. If you feel unable to solve your situation by yourself,
You need to have the
please
right
try
people,
to reach
yeah.
out and get professional help.
So before starting,
It's not a sign of weakness, but of courage. However, we look at loneliness
longer this takes,
as
the
a
more I can
purely
drink the Bob
individual
game.
problem that needs solving to
this
create
game doesn't
more
start, I drink
personal
Bob game.
happiness,
I have time.
or as a
But I'm gonna
public
be
health
tired.
crisis. It is something that deserves more attention. Humans have built a world that's nothing short of amazing, and yet none of the shiny things we've made is able to satisfy or substitute our fundamental biological need for connection. Most animals get what they need from their physical surroundings. We get what we need from each other. And we need to build
what
our
I see lately
artificial
is
human
dogs.
world.
My dad is lonely a little bit, and my grandpa's very lonely. My grandpa literally sees no one other than me, and they have dogs, and the dogs are a lifesaver to them. The dogs mean so much there, man. They're literally saving their lives, man. Dogs, especially for lonely old men, are very important, man.
Based on
Pets
that.
in general help a lot, but you have to be careful. You could get stuck, right? You could become a cat lady that only chills with her cats all day and doesn't go out anymore. Gotta be careful there. But dogs are obviously great.
Let's try something together. Let's reach out to someone today. Regardless if you
Don't you fucking dare text me right now. Tommy, I want to reach out. Fuck you. Look, I want to support you guys, but anyone who texts me in Discord, fuck you.
feel a little bit
Hate this
lonely,
shit.
or if you want to make someone else's day better.
One guy was
Maybe
already
write
ready,
a
man.
friend you haven't
Tommy, thank
spoken
you
to
for
in a
doing this
while.
work, man. Yeah,
Call
good
a
for
family
you.
member who's become
Don't talk to
estranged.
me.
Invite a work buddy for a coffee. Or just go to something
Invite a work buddy. Fuck work buddies. They're all cunts,
you're
right?
usually too afraid to go to or too lazy to go to, like a D&D event or a sports club. Everybody's different,
Or
so
just go
you
on
know
Twitch,
what's a
man.
good fit
Just go
for
on
you.
Twitch.
Maybe nothing will come of it, and that's okay. Don't do this with any
Makoni, you want to go
expectations.
out for coffee?
The goal is just to open up a bit, to exercise your connection muscles so they can grow stronger over time, or to help others exercise them. We want to recommend two of the books we read while researching this video. Emotional First Aid by Guy Winch a book that addresses, among other topics,
Probably very
how to
important,
deal
man.
with loneliness in a way that we found helpful
I
and
didn't mean you,
actionable.
Marconi. I was thinking of
And
my old supermarket.
Loneliness, Human Nature and the Need for Social Connection
Take us, you
by
want to
John
join
Kelly.
HMM or you all you fucks waiting for Backbockoin, man? Very good video, man. Kurzgesagt is a great channel. I think in the next weeks I will react to all of videos.
Chopel and William Patrick. It's an entertaining and scientific exploration
Playing HMM,
as to
yes.
why we experience loneliness on a biological level, how it's spread in society, and what science has to say about how to escape it. Links for both books in the video
Check
description.
it out, boys. Check it out. I feel like I'm very, very privileged in this scenario, man. I never had depression. I was never really lonely. I always overcame it. And I realize I'm very lucky with that. I never want to act like, oh, it's so easy, man. I don't want to have a big mouth. I guess I'm just very privileged. I've seen depression, like real fucking depression. My grandpa had it, which in the end killed him. Fucking scary as fucking hell, man. Really not okay. And just crazy, man. It makes me like, woo. I'm very lucky that at the moment no one I know is depressed.